the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, fellow daytime drama enthusiasts. Today is a fantastic day to unpack the latest twists and turns from Genoa City. We have an incredibly intense episode to discuss, so let's jump right into the action and break down every shocking moment. I cannot believe they actually did that. I mean, I have been watching this show since 2015, and this is hands down one of the absolute best, most nerve-wracking things they have ever done. My heart was literally pounding out of my chest during this entire sequence at Dr. Markham's house. Before I even get into the nitty-gritty of the escape plan, can we just take a second to talk about how incredibly creepy Dr. Lawrence Markham is getting? Because it is seriously making my skin crawl. He is supposed to be this professional, albeit totally corrupt, psychiatrist who is holding Diane hostage under the guise of treating a mental breakdown. But suddenly, he is crossing all these incredibly gross boundaries. He is standing there, looking at Diane, and complimenting her on how beautiful she looks. I'm sorry, but what? This is no longer just a hostage situation. This guy is developing a twisted, romantic obsession with his captive, and it is honestly terrifying to watch. But you know what? Diane Jenkins Abbott is an absolute mastermind. I know some people are loving this whole captive storyline and want to see Diane suffer, but personally, I am so here for her fighting back. She is playing this man like a grand piano. She sees that he is getting inappropriately attached to her, and instead of panicking, she leans right into it. She starts batting her eyelashes and playing the role of the compliant, smitten patient. Diane asks him for her sedatives, acting all fragile and delicate, like she just needs his help to sleep. And Markham, being the arrogant, overconfident jerk that he is, tells her she can only have one pill before bed. He pulls the bottle out, gives her the whole authoritative doctor routine, and then he just leaves the bottle in his jacket pocket. And then he takes the jacket off. He takes the jacket off and leaves it sitting right there. Are you kidding me? Does this man not realize who he is dealing with? This is Diane Jenkins. Remember when they tried to lock her in a corner years ago? Yeah, didn't work then either. This is the woman who literally faked her own brutal murder in a Genoa City park back in 2011 with the help of Deacon Sharp. She used a corpse from a morgue to frame Nikki Newman and let her own son, Kyle, mourn her for over a decade. You do not leave a bottle of heavy sedatives unattended in the same room as a desperate Diane. It is just amateur hour for Dr. Markham. And I was screaming at my television for her to make a move. So Diane, being the brilliant tactician she is, suggests that Markham should go get some wine for a special meal she is going to prepare for them. A special meal. The irony is just too delicious. She is totally stroking his ego, making him feel like he has successfully wooed his beautiful captive. He completely falls for it and heads down to the wine cellar. The second he is out of sight, the mask drops. Diane's face goes completely cold, and she dives for that jacket. I was literally on the edge of my seat, yelling, "Hurry up! Get the pills! He's going to come back." And she does it. She rummages through his pockets, finds the bottle, and snatches a handful of sedatives for her next move. It was such a classic high-stakes soap opera moment, and the actress just nailed the sheer desperation and cunning of the character. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind for a second because we absolutely have to talk about Jack Abbott. Am I the only one who is in a state of pure shock that Jack actually pulled off something this smart? I love Jack, I really do, but let's be honest. He usually bumbles his way through these kinds of crises. He is always making the wrong move or trusting the wrong person. But tonight, pure, unadulterated genius. Remember when he drove all the way to Markham's estate, only to find a broken gate and a pack of vicious Doberman pinschers guarding the property? I honestly thought that was it. I thought Jack was going to do something incredibly reckless, get himself mauled by dogs, and ruin the whole rescue mission. He even called Kyle to tell him his phone was dying and that he couldn't get in. But instead of giving up or calling the police, which he completely dismissed. By the way, Jack goes back to the Abbott mansion. And what does he find? A sticky note from Patty Williams. Patty freaking Williams. The note says, she is out relaxing in the Abbott family hot tub. I can't even with this woman. I mean, the sheer audacity of Patty lounging in Jack's hot tub like she is the lady of the manor. It makes my blood boil just thinking about it. Remember when she drugged Jack on that abandoned yacht and forced herself on him? And now she thinks they are going to live happily ever after? She is completely delusional. But her delusion is exactly what gives Jack his opening. Because Patty left her phone behind. So Jack, in a moment of absolute brilliance, grabs Patty's phone and hacks into it. Since when is Jack Abbott a tech hacker? I don't even care. I am just so glad he did it. He uses Patty's phone to send a frantic, emergency text directly to Dr. Markham. He pretends to be Patty, begging Markham for immediate help and telling him to meet her at their usual spot. It is the perfect bait because Markham knows how unstable Patty is, and he knows she is the one pulling the strings and paying him to keep Diane locked up. If Patty goes off the rails, Markham's entire operation goes down in flames. And the timing, oh my gosh, the timing could not have been more perfect. Because right as Jack sends that fake text, Dr. Markham is walking back upstairs from the wine cellar with a bottle of wine ready to romance Diane. He is probably envisioning this sick, twisted, romantic evening with his hostage. But then his phone buzzes. He looks at the text from Patty, and you can just see the panic and annoyance wash over his face. He assumes Patty is having a massive meltdown and needs him immediately. He tells Diane that an emergency has come up and he has to leave right away. Now, this is where Diane truly shines. If that were me, I would be sweating profusely. I would be shaking, or I would probably smile too big and give the whole thing away. But Diane? She doesn't even blink. She plays the disappointed but understanding companion flawlessly. She looks at him with those big, innocent eyes and assures him that it is completely fine and that they will just have their romantic dinner together when he gets back. She practically pushes him out the door with a smile. I was cheering in my living room. She played him so perfectly that he didn't suspect a single thing. He rushes out the door, thinking he has this beautiful woman waiting to serve him dinner, completely oblivious to the fact that he is walking right into Jack's trap. Because the second that door clicks shut, Diane goes to work. She is finally alone. She takes out those sedative capsules she stole from his jacket, pulls them apart, and starts sprinkling the heavy powder all over the food she is preparing for him. Yes, this is the poetic justice we have been waiting for. Markham has been keeping her subdued and trapped, threatening her with drugs and psychological torture, and now she is literally going to give him a taste of his own medicine. She is going to drug his food, knock him out cold, and finally make her escape. I am so incredibly hyped for this. But wait, my anxiety is spiking again just thinking about what happens next. What if Markham comes back and isn't hungry? What if he smells the medicine in the food? What if he takes one bite and realizes something is wrong before he passes out? I swear, if the writers drag this out and have him catch her in the act, I am going to lose my absolute mind. We have been suffering through this hostage storyline for what feels like an eternity, and we need this payoff. We need to see Dr. Markham collapse face first into his special meal. And we can't forget about Kyle. Kyle Abbott is literally sitting in his car, parked in the dark outside Dr. Markham's estate right now. After Jack called him, Kyle drove straight there, hoping that Jack's crazy distraction plan would actually work. So Kyle is just waiting out there, probably staring at those terrifying Dobermans, praying that his mother finds a way out. If Diane manages to knock Markham out, she still has to get past the security and the dogs. But if she can just get out the front door, Kyle is right there waiting to speed her away to safety. It feels like the climax of a heist movie, and I am living for every single second of it. I know some fans are probably rolling their eyes, saying Diane deserves to be locked up for all the pain she caused Jack and Kyle in the past. And, yeah, maybe she does have a lot to answer for. Sometimes I contradict myself, because one day I hate Diane, and the next day I am rooting for her. But nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to be held captive by a creepy, boundary-crossing, fake doctor and a psychotic Patty Williams. Diane has fought tooth and nail to rebuild her life and her family, and seeing her use her classic manipulative skills for survival is just fantastic television. And speaking of Patty, oh boy, what is going to happen when Patty realizes she has been played? When she gets out of that hot tub, checks her phone, and sees that Jack used it to text Markham? Or worse, what happens when she realizes Jack was never falling for her and was just using her to save Diane? Patty is going to go absolutely nuclear. She is already living in this delusional fantasy world where she and Jack are soulmates. When that bubble bursts, her wrath is going to be legendary. I am genuinely terrified for Jack. He is playing a very dangerous game with a woman who has zero grip on reality. Okay, let me catch my breath. I am just so emotionally invested in this right now. I need tomorrow's episode immediately. I need to see Markham eat that food. I need to see Diane run out of those doors and jump into Kyle's car. And I need to see the look on Patty's face when she realizes she lost. This show has me on an absolute emotional roller coaster, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Let me know if you guys are as stressed out and excited as I am, because I definitely need to vent with people who understand this level of soap opera stress